o'clock. Can you believe another day has gone by and another week has slid right past us as we pass from summer into fall? October 3rd already, and I'm glad that you're joining me today for today's economic report. Of course, bad news on the front here. My Cleveland Guardians are out of the playoff picture. And I just want to take a moment here and thank you for all the kind words and support you find folks have given me this entire time. And of course, they bowed out. And I think what we've really seen out of that team is something absolutely amazing, which is grit and determination and a willingness never to give up. And I saw that throughout the course of the season. And the Guardians had been given a ton, and I do mean a ton of bad breaks, and they really kind of found a way to come back each time, rallied together, and they were that team that really did some pretty amazing things, and they're not too far away from being a really, really good squad. So let's keep our fingers crossed and wish the other teams that are still in the playoffs, including Detroit, best wishes because they had nice teams here this year as well. And so I am a baseball fan, so I love seeing baseball. And of course, this is football season as well. And so on to the football as well. But let's continue with the economic report. Today's story was about middle class fears and concerns, and it was such an amazing thing to create yesterday. And I was so happy to release this in the long form video. And I'll remind you that if you are liked and subscribed, that you get the long form video sent to your inbox on a regular basis. And with that, folks, we really took a look at what it is to enjoy what it is to be middle class, right? And the middle class existed prior to the uh, 40s and 50s, but really, really seemed to take root right after World War II. There's, of course, all the soldiers coming back from the war, and many of them anxious to get their lives going again because they had dedicated their time and energy for the protection of this country and our defense. They were married, and bada bing, bada boom, the baby boom started. And the next thing you know, from the ashes really came the middle class of the United States. And absolutely amazing housing booms, baby booms, wedding booms, building booms when it came to creation of schools and, of course, factories. So just an amazing time. Oh, Carlos, glad to have you here. We need people just like you, of course. Yamena, glad to have you here. Thank you for joining me here at the Economic Report. And of course, like and subscribe keeps you getting information from the Economic Report all the way. We are talking middle class, and of course, the fears, concerns of the middle class, and of course, the joys of being middle class, and of course, the idea that we can always improve our situation. Go ahead and drop your comments below if you have questions, of course, stuff that's meaningful and, of course, helpful to this channel. You guys are awesome. And, of course, all that we ask you for is a like and a subscribe. Yamena, thank you very much. You are amazing, and people like you make this channel happen. So, thank you very much, Yamena. I appreciate it. Um, sure enough, we are talking middle class, the joys and concerns of middle class America, of course, and what it means to be middle class, and of course, maybe just maybe a little bit more about what we're doing to continue to stay middle class or rise to the upper part of middle class. Those are the things that are very, very real, and these are the things that are affecting people just like us here in the economic report. So we're going ahead and talking about, hey, the idea I shared a graph in the video today that talking about what exactly it means to be middle class, what income levels you're making, whether you're in a place like California or you're in a place like New York, or you're in a place, yes, just like the great state of Ohio, kind of a range of what kind of a salary you'd be making. And of course, the idea that you have a two-child family, and of course, the hopes and aspirations that come along with retirement, health care, a pension for your family, maybe the opportunity to invest in your children in various ways to improve their situation. Of course, home ownership ownership, all these things associated with middle class life here in the United States. And of course, with that, can you believe it? I have two children. I like one of them. Okay, that you are kind of funny. And so with that, I find that very humorous, Yamena. Um, so with that, I would share a couple of things here with you. Uh, we, as middle class people, want our children to do better than we are, and maybe one of the things we can do to help our children do better is actually have some kind of a savings plan for them. Um, I don't know. One of the people I've spoken to, they would talk to life insurance, right? And it's maybe a decent place to start because the idea is we're have this planet forever, but the idea is you afford protection for the generation that's currently alive, and of course, upon our death, obviously, some kind of a plan that is going to help put things in perspective and pass on tax-free monies for the next generation. And of course, that is something to take into consideration as well. Um, and it's something that, well, I mean, I've got term policy and I'll probably be buying a whole life policy in the not too distant future. But it's just a small, teeny thing I can do to help the next generation out as well. So, with that, let's go ahead and talk about some other things happening in the markets today. And once again, if you have a question, I am going to go ahead and respond to good questions and comments in the stream. And if I don't see those, I'm going to just continue talking about some other things here that are up this week again. And that means if you are vested in the market, that's one of the things that the middle class has. The middle class generally has some kind of exposure to the stock market. And of course, that stock market means not only are you beating inflation, you are staying ahead of that. And of course, you have a plan beyond Social Security or your pension to maybe, just maybe, give you a little bit of a better lifestyle in your golden years. And this is another important thing to keep in mind because, of course, you're not just thinking about the here and now. What you're thinking about is what the future may do. Well, Cal, glad to have you here. Thank you for joining me as well. And Kurt, thank you very much. Glad to have you here as well. So once again, make sure you are liked and subscribed to the channel, and we can continue sharing today's story. One of the things that we thought today about the government shutdown, right? And there still is a government shutdown going on. And hey, you want to talk middle class? A ton of those jobs that are currently being furloughed, or some of these jobs that are currently being put on hold, or people that are being kept at home right now, are what you would call middle class jobs, right? They have a pension, they have 40-hour week, they have health care, and of course foundational pieces for the American dream. And me personally, I want to thank anybody who's doing work to try to better this country. And government service in many ways are those people. You can't belittle what somebody's labor is or what they do, and I appreciate it. And of course, I think that a life of dedicated service in some kind of a public service is extremely, extremely important. So I want to thank you for showing up to work every day. And I also want to thank you for your commitment to keeping this country moving in the right direction. And of course, with that, a couple of other themes here. Gold, right under $3,900 per ounce of gold, is absolutely unbelievable. Yamena, glad to have you back. Callow, glad to have you back as well. Silver just under 48 dollars an ounce, which is outrageous. But I'm also going to remind you too that gold and silver, we're taking a look at their prices, calling these all-time highs. I would beg to differ just a little bit because when you take a look at the historical price chart, maybe even 2017 or 2019, did you know, like, the buying power of the US dollar has actually gone down 20% since 2019? So whatever cost you $1 in 2019, and you'd give a dollar, now that dollar only has 80% of its buying power. I share this with you because it's just a reminder that inflation is alive, inflation as well, and it's constantly chewing away at the value of the US dollar. And if you can relate to that, go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe once again. Drop a comment below because these are very, very real things affecting middle class people just like us. Because this is the economic report where DC politics and Wall Street economics hit the main street for people just like us. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this is we're going into the final few minutes here of the economic report. Just reminding you that every single day, the biggest battle you're fighting is the one between your ears, over your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. And I just want to remind you to take action. If one small action you could take is smile, be good to another human being because you will brighten up their day, you will make their day, and of course, you will spread the goodwill that is so desperately important in this country because we can all do a little bit better to spread the joy. My name is Brian, and thank you for joining me here at the Economic Report. You are awesome, and thank you for liking, subscribing, and following me. I will catch you